Good morning and welcome to Cover 2 Cook. We are on episode 98. We're
Uh-oh.
gonna we're gonna be talking about NFL updates, college football updates, NBA playoff updates, and NHL playoff updates. So let's get it started.
Yeah. I was gonna do a vertical jump there. Thank you, Socks.
Travel been to Indiana, and did Cover 2 Cook get you a good hotel?
Indiana? No, I'm in Louisiana. I'm getting Mardi Gras.
And I know that this might be hard, but I don't know how much you remember Friday night since we left you damn near when you fell asleep.
I got my belly full, man. I was like, I warm covers and warm. I was like, I could go to sleep right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jack Dorsey.
Final answer?
Yes.
Eh.
All right.
This is gonna be a long fucking day.
All right. Thank you so much for joining today. We have some NFL updates. Even though the season isn't on yet, there's always news to be talked about. First one coming out of it, Justin Tucker gets released from the Ravens due to performance on the football field. And I'm putting quotations because we all know what it is. What did you think about this one?
If you've seen the letter, it's pretty much they're covering CYA, covering their ass.
Yep.
I think they're covering their ass with the players union. I think they're covering everything. And you had to have known that it was coming when this is the first time they've ever drafted a kicker, a place kicker ever in their draft.
Yeah.
So you knew there was something coming. I think Baltimore knows that there's a suspension coming. So that's why they drafted somebody, and that's why they released him. Now, they said it was performance. Well, he did have an off year this year, but an off year for him compared to another off year is totally different. I mean, he did have an off year, and I think the weight of what was coming down kind of weighed on him a little bit. But yeah, this was a CYA all the way.
Yeah, I think when you talk about an off year for him, it's still better than majority of teams.
Yeah,
but at the same time, like when this whole thing came out with Deshaun, everyone was like, "Whoa, man, they're gonna really hit him. They're gonna hit him," and it really wasn't that bad of a suspension. Now the second person's coming, and we all know the suspension is going to be hard. I mean,
Yep.
I truly believe it's going to either be a year suspension or possibly more. And it needs to be, people. You can't, NFL, fight for all these injustice and things like this and have players only suspended for so many games when they're doing these things off the field. I'm sorry, but if I was if I had these allegations against me, my company would drop me like a sack of potatoes overnight. And that's not even if they're true or not. It's allegations. I get it. But at the same time, if it was 1, 2, 16 now, I mean, it's just at the point now where like Justin Tucker will not kick field goals again in the NFL. He will not. No.
I disagree on that. Somebody's going to give him a chance. He's too good of a kicker. Somebody will give him a chance.
I think the NFL, the owners, if they could stand up to Shadur and their whole situation, I think they're going to stand up. And why I say this because it's not the suspension starts when he is the suspension starts when he's on a team. Right. So a team's going to have to sign him to know that he could be out a year. And that's I don't see a team saying, "Well, we'll wait for next year to get him." Like I just don't think the teams. I think this ended his career right now. This was it. Go out in the dust. Just see you later. This is something that should not bring it back. And the Browns dealt with this.
Right.
So,
well, and I think that's why I push back because I think that they team. A lot depends on what the suspension comes to be.
Yeah.
If you're saying a year or two, yeah, he probably is done. But if they give him 8 games, 9 games, all you got to do is get on a practice squad, and then he can kick for a little bit, practice up, and then he can be, as soon as suspension's over, he's on. Like, I agree, because a kicker is sometimes not, it takes, if they're out for a year, they can practice all they want. Yep. But game time practice and practice during practice is totally different. That's totally different. So, yeah, I kind of go with you on it if it's a year or two. But if it's half a season, somebody's picking him up. Somebody's going to pick him up.
Yeah, I still don't. I mean, I think you might see him in USFL before you see him back in NFL. I mean, and that's saying he wants that. He's made enough money. He's done his thing there. Yep. I think he's out. I think he's got enough of a firestorm coming towards him that he needs to focus on that instead of kicking field goals. And also, too, field goal kicking is a mind game, and you got a lot on your mind right now. So good luck. And I think
Yes.
we saw that, the repercussions.
Yep.
I took a little incidents from Yahoo. Yahoo gave these 10 storylines to track during OTAs and minicamps. So I'm going to read the 10 and ask you which one is the most intriguing that we may get an answer to or we may not during this time. Aaron Rodgers' decision. When will Michael Parsons get paid? Browns quarterback competition now that they have 5. The new looking Jets with Justin Fields. J.J. McCarthy takes the helm at Minnesota. Brock Purdy's massive extension, supposedly. Quarterbacks QB showdown, the Colts quarterback showdown. Travis Hunter playing offense, defense, or both. Michael Penix Jr. and Kirk Cousins swap roles in this year compared to last year. And the final one is Marvin Harrison Jr.'s second time around. It's got to be better than the first. Which one is the most intriguing going into OTAs and minicamps?
And you know where this is going is to Micah Parsons. He is going to milk this thing out and milk it out till he did it with Dak. He did it with CD. He's going to do the same thing with this guy here. He's going to milk it out. I think he'll sign him right before the season starts, but he is going to milk this thing out. He wants the publicity. Jerry Jones, I think this is like intriguing because, he might say, hey, I might be in training camp, and I might not if I don't get a contract here, just like the rest of them did. I was not so much Dak, but CD was kind of like, I'll be there when I get there, unless you give me a contract.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think, I'm tired of the Aaron Rodgers decision. I think his ultimate decision is obviously going to be retirement. I don't think he would have signed already. But as a Vikings fan, I think the J.J. McCarthy one is very intriguing. But in all retrospect, the best one has to be, is Travis Hunter playing defense? Is he playing offense? Or is he playing both? Because we are seeing a generational talent if he can play both sides of the ball in the NFL. I think all this quarterback talk, we'll find out when the first game starts. I mean, when you talk about Michael Penix Jr. and Kirk Cousins, what if the first 5 games they struggle? They go back to Kirk Cousins?
Right.
Like, what are you going to do there? The Browns situation, let's be honest. Whatever's the right decision for the Browns, don't expect it. It's going to be the opposite, right?
Right.
So I think these other ones are good talking points, but when we're talking about what is the most intriguing and what we may actually find out during mini camps and OTAs is what are they planning on doing? Because their offense looks great with him on there. Yeah. They got Travis Etienne, they got Trevor Lawrence, they got Brian Robinson Jr. Yeah, the wide receiver, whatever.
Yes,
they got a good squad going. But if you're throwing them on offense, I don't put Travis Hunter now as a star wide receiver. So,
and I think he plays. I think he plays a few snaps defense, but I think the majority of it is going to be offense. I think he wants to get him. That's why they drafted him. Get a wide receiver that can stretch the field. So I think he plays more offense.
I actually see the opposite way around. I think he starts in defense and then he's in certain packages in offense.
Gotcha.
So where a 3 wide or out, or something like that trips. That's where they'll put him in. Right. Otherwise, I think they hold him more to the defensive side just because having a shutdown corner can change your defense. Yeah. Now, do I know if he's a shutdown corner? He didn't look like a shutdown corner in Big 12. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, he's really good." He was in the Big 12. But and then looking at the other one, new looking Jets with Justin Fields, I'll wait to see it. I mean,
kind of like with Cleveland. Wait and see what happens. I mean, they still got Garrett Wilson. They still got Breece Hall as their running back. I think I can see him having a bounce back year. Breece Hall. I mean, he kind of struggled. I think he had some injuries too. So, but I think you've got, and then I think they drafted a wide receiver too. So I mean, I think they're going to be a decent team. But Ken Fields, as we've seen with Pittsburgh last year, he can't. He throws a bullet of a ball. Yeah. He can't lay it in there. That's why I think he lost the job to Russell Wilson, because he can lay it in there. He could throw that moon ball, and the runners could go right underneath it. Justin can't. Justin throws just a rocket of a ball, and you're expecting that wide receiver to catch it. I mean, that's difficult.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this news because, I mean, I've seen a lot of reports of he's got a new step and everything like that. Supposedly he's put on more muscle. I'm excited to see how much they use the running game in it. Pittsburgh was starting to do it a little bit. We'll see if they do. And then final one that we didn't really talk about, Colts QB showdown. Obviously, you got Daniel Jones there, Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
Like, I think Daniel Jones wins this. I truly do. I don't know why I have this feeling, but I thought Daniel Jones, when he came to Minnesota, that was the quarterback I would rather keep out of him as Sam Darnold. I think he's still a better quarterback. I just think he played for a bad team with the Giants. Right. I think Anthony Richardson lost a lot of respect with what happened last year, that I think Daniel Jones wins that one. And the other one is Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, everyone's like, he needs to be better. Well, I think Kyler Murray needs to be better to allow him to be better. I think, there was one game last year where Marvin Harrison Jr. had like 3 touchdowns. I took the dog for a walk. I came back and he had 3 touchdowns.
Right.
He can do that. But can Kyler Murray get him the ball to do that?
Yeah. And that offensive line struggled last year for Arizona too as well. Kyler didn't have a whole lot of time to throw the ball. But it just seems like Kyler, his moon ball is like it takes forever to come down. Yeah. And that's when the receivers, the DBs can get right underneath it. I mean, there was a couple of them for Marvin that Marvin had a hell of a time, struggle just to get the ball to him. Yeah. I mean, he was waiting. There was a couple I seen in the games where there was an end zone one in the back corner, and I'm like, come on, Marvin, catch it. But it looked like it took forever to get to him.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Also in this offseason, we've talked about Abdul Carter, the 3rd pick for the New York Giants. Can't find a damn jersey number. He asked Lawrence Taylor right when the draft happened, can I have number 56? Lawrence Taylor said, hey, nope, that's my jersey. You go make your own path. So what does he do? Goes down a different path and goes after Phil Simms' 11 jersey. Okay, yeah. Both of them have said no. Just pick your own damn jersey. Like, I get it. It is cool to think about the possibility of having a legendary. But what happens if you're legendary? Like, Abdul Carter, don't you want to be your own path? Don't you want it so that people are like, we need to retire this jersey so that someone else comes out? Now, I think this is all sparking because Warren Moon gave up number 1 so that Ward could have number 1 for the Tennessee Titans. That's what's all caused this situation now because now players are like, why? Okay, let's slow down here. Let's not act like the Titans had that many numbers they've retired, okay?
Yeah, right.
The Giants have been around longer. But why do you need these 2 numbers to be – I mean, it's a little disappointing because it's not like he went to Penn State. Like, he went to Penn State. He didn't go to Alabama. Right. He didn't go to Georgia where these players after players after players. He made his own path. And now it makes me – he's giving off Michael Parsons Jr. vibes. Be your own self. But what do you think about this one?
Well, and also, too, Anthony, Malik Neighbors, the number 1 is also retired as well. So they went back to – I think there was a player back in the 60s. I can't think of his name. That they retired that number on him. And Malik Neighbors went to the family, and the family let him have it. Yeah. I mean, I think you got to blame a little bit of the Giants organization. Tell them no. No, we're not doing this game. We're not playing this game of you jump around for great numbers or for taking numbers from great people. Get your own number. We'll give you a number just like everybody else. And, this is how we're going to do things. Make your own, like you said, make your own name. But, like I said, the organization needs to step in and say, enough. You guys just get the numbers and, unless somebody wants to sell it. Now, I wonder what one player that was a player one time sold their number for like $20,000, $30,000 to have it for a 1st-round pick. Now, if you want to sell it, that's one thing. I mean, you want to make a little money off it. But just go get your own number, okay?
Well, and when you say selling, it's to a player that's already in the league that's got that.
Yeah.
But
and it's not a great player neither. A good player, but not a great player.
And this legendary number, I mean, because I think it was the Devontae Adams coming over or whatever, and they were like, how much did he sell to Puka to get that number, right? And I think when you talk about Abdul Carter, it's like you're not just talking about good players. You're talking about the best players that Giants have had, and their whole existence. Yep. I mean, Lawrence Taylor is the best Giants player to ever play. Yep. Like I will fight anyone on it because you can give me 100 wide receivers and running backs and blah blah blah, but he was one of the best, if not one of the best, if not the best defensive player of all time.
Right.
Like that could be a Mount Rushmore of itself of best defensive players. And when you say that, you think he's going to offer up you think he's going to allow his number to be unretired for you to play it? Come on.
Yeah.
Come
I
on. Like
agree.
it's just, and Phil Simms was a stretch. I'm going to be honest with you. That one I was kind of like,
Well, I mean, he was going to give it the number to him, and the family said, "No, let him go get his own number."
yep.
He told him, "Forget it."
Yep.
So I mean, even Phil Simms was going to give in, and the family goes, "Hell no!"
Yeah.
So
I kind of agree with that. I just go make your own path.
yeah.
Well, speaking of college football players that are becoming pros, college football's got some updates for us. Sharon Moore is expected to receive a 2-game suspension because this Connor Stallion stuff is still happening. God forbid they already suspended Harbaugh over this whole situation.
Yeah.
Now they're going to the coach that is taking Harbaugh's situation with Sharon Moore. I don't get this. I just have we moved on? And don't tell me it was just one team doing this shit. It was so many other teams doing this. I don't get it. Is it Ohio State? Do they got someone in the bag that's allowing this to happen?
Right.
Because they can't beat Michigan. So God forbid. And you know what? I asked for the 2 games to be against Ohio State because that's the only way it's fair. I mean, come on. This is annoying for how long it's taken on. What do you think about this one?
Typical NCAA. Can't get out of its own freaking way. It's like, come on. You should just, when you had all the information in front of you, just hand out the suspensions all at once. No, we're going to wait another 6 months after you've done all these suspensions, and we're going to give them 2 more games. It's like just typical NCAA. They can't get out of their own way.
Yeah.
I'm not shocked on it.
No, I definitely agree. And other news in college football, Notre Dame and Clemson, Notre Dame fans here, have struck a 12-year agreement to play each other starting in 2027. Obviously, I think this is good for Notre Dame. This is good for Clemson, right? Notre Dame's been playing more of an ACC schedule recently where they're playing the Miami, they're playing the Virginias, they're playing these Georgia Techs. But you need to go take on the dog. And the dog right now in the ACC is Clemson. And you need to go make sure. Now, this is good for Notre Dame because you beat Clemson, your recruiting helps. Clemson beats you, or if Clemson just gets to play against Notre Dame, they get their face back out there again. This is good for both parties. This will be exciting. I hate Clemson. I absolutely hate them just because of their little bit of run that they had. I hate them. I hope they blow them out for 12 years straight. I hope that Clemson regrets this. But unfortunately, I think this is going to give Notre Dame every year you're going to have to mark this game because this is going to be a game that they're going to have to take on. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, and why I dislike Clemson, Dabo Sweetie. Yeah. He's the biggest tool bag I have ever seen in my life. He's just snotty, arrogant, I don't have to go out and do NIL. I can. And, he did make the playoffs last year. So, I mean, that did help a little bit with his recruiting, may help with his recruiting. But he's just so smug. And like you said, I hope they beat him 12 years in a row. I don't think that's going to happen. But you've got it. And that's the bad deal about them being an independent. I mean, they are part of the ACC, but in football, they're independent. So they only have to play 5 games against ACC opponents. So one of them 5 is going to be a top-notch game with Clemson in the next 12 years. So the rest of it is just a rotating schedule. They play a Wake Forest, a Virginia, whatever. But that usually it's the first weekend of November. They're playing a star game in Clemson, a star team, not star game, but star team. So
yeah, because I think they got Miami this year to start them off.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like the first game this year, if not second game. They start off with Miami, and Miami's got a squad this year. So I think they're going to have to face it. I think this is leading towards Notre Dame making a decision on a conference. I truly do. I think this is leaning towards they're going to go to the ACC, which I just am frustrated. Like if there was any conference they went to, it's just not that conference. Yeah. If they would have went Big Ten, I'd be happy with that. Win or lose, whatever. SEC, I don't think they're ready for that, but win or lose, they're in it, right? But ACC is just not. I mean, there's teams trying to get out of the ACC. Yeah. Why try to join them? So I do think this is a good 12-year agreement. We'll see. Yeah. College football flips like more than people change their underwear. So we'll see what this all comes out to be by the time it ends. All right, for NBA playoff updates, we have to go to our Cover 2 Cook correspondent, Mr. Tim Cook. Give me some updates about the NBA playoffs.
Well, we've started the second round, and of the 4 games, have been the road dog as
Yeah.
covered. So we'll start out with Sunday, Cleveland and Indiana. Cleveland took game 1. Pacers defense was just. There was two people that shot. Cleveland shot 90 shots in this game. 50 of it was between 2 players.
Yep.
Mitchell and I think Ty Jerome. And that's just not going to get it done for them guys. So they play again tonight, down 1-0 in a must-win game. I mean, they've got to win. We had last night the Knicks and the Celtics. Knicks down 20 at one point in the third quarter, came from behind and won in overtime. Tatum, he had like 4 points, 1 for 9 from field goals in the fourth quarter. You're not going to win like that. I mean, that's just not good. Denver ended up winning against the Clippers Saturday, but then they played OKC last night, and they won 121-119. Chet Holmgren, you got to make your free throws, buddy, just like anything else. And then they decided to press during the rebound. They decided to press and left Aaron Gordon, which he's the guy right now. That's 2 winning shots in this playoffs. One with the slam dunk, alley-oop slam dunk, and then he was just money with that 3-pointer. I mean, I don't know what they're doing, but they'll play again. And tonight it's Minnesota and the Dubs, Golden State. We could see a fourth. It's at Minnesota. I wouldn't be surprised if they Golden State comes out with a win on this one.
Yeah, it's one of these things where like Minnesota, like last year, even they looked good in the first round, and then they just like stopped playing in the second round. I really hope that I like Anthony Edwards. I hope they do well. But looking from these games that happen for NBA, I just the big guys, the ones that are supposed to win it, they lose this game 1. When do you get a little worried? I mean, when do you start worrying that like these teams, this isn't supposed to how it's all supposed to go? OKC is supposed to win, and Boston, I got Boston winning it all. What So I definitely think what is your matchup that you're most looking forward to throughout this series, the second round?
I think it could be Denver and OKC. Okay. I think OKC is going to give. I think Denver is going to give OKC all the. I can see going 6-7 games because I think OKC. I think out of all these teams, I think Boston rebounds. They'll come back. What would that be? Wednesday, yeah, tomorrow night. I think they bounce back. I think OKC bounces back. I don't think they. I mean, Cleveland. I would be a little bit nervous. Yeah. If that's how they're going to play this series, Indiana's hot right now. They're playing great defense, and so is the Knicks. And that was another thing too. Is Tatum was bitching. I mean, he pretty much at the post game at the podium says, if this is what the referee's going to call, I mean, we might as well just stop whatever we're doing. He says because they're not calling the fouls like they should. He was, and it's just the NBA. He thought he got. This was like right at the beginning of the game. He thought he got fouled on the post. And he's going down and bitching all the way down to the referee, then commits his own foul and grabs the ball and starts handing the ball to him and starts bitching at the referee some more. Hey, Tatum, just play the game, okay, man? Just play. I mean, it's just ilk.
Yeah, I think the game, the series, this one is Indiana and Cleveland. And why I say that is just because of the hard note. I mean, Indiana is such a blue-collared. I mean, I know it's a blue-collared, like it's just like a workforce, fan base, whatever. Right. But the team is that way too. Yeah. And then Cleveland on the other side is the same way. Yeah. I mean, it's I was watching the Knicks and Boston last night for a little bit before the hockey game started. Right. And it was like a Shaq foul where they were fouling this big guy,
Mitchell Williams.
Williams, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Or Robinson or something like that.
I'm sorry. Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, they were fouling him instead of doing that, and it was kind of like one of these things. And they were like, "But that's not what Boston wants to play. They want to run too. Right. So, like, what are you doing?" And so I'm watching that, and I'm like, you know how lame it is that you're talking about whether you want to foul someone. I need to get to my sport where they're going to hit each other against the wall, have a little excitement. But yeah, no, I think
he was. Tatum was pointing right at the referee, saying, "We're fouling him. We're fouling. What are you doing? Call it. Call it." Yeah. It's like, are you guys fucking kidding me? They did it. They did it once down the court, and then they went back down, and then didn't do it again. Then they did it again. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I mean, no, go down this avenue. You guys are too good of a team to be doing this lame duck bullshit. Come
Yeah.
on.
Well, I think
Mickey Mouse.
other news that is talked about in the basketball world outside of playoffs, obviously Greg Popovich walking away or being done playing. I thought that ceremony. Name a coach that's retired and that many players have come to his press conference.
Anthony, I tell you what, that stroke, you could tell in
Yeah.
that press conference, I'm glad he's retired
Yeah.
because he is still not right. I mean,
Yeah.
he did not look good. And,
Yeah.
and I'm glad he's kind of not really retiring, but kind of stepping away, doing the GM role and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, he doesn't need to be coaching because he's still not 100%. You could tell.
Yeah, I mean, when he tried to unzip his jacket and he
Yeah.
couldn't do that,
Yeah.
and then you had Tim
Yeah.
Duncan there, Manu Ginobili, you had Wemby there, you had so many players there that were in support of him. Very sad, obviously, to him walk away, but you knew the time was coming eventually.
Yep.
All right, for the NBA to the NHL, 2 Game 7s we had in the first round. Dallas scores 4 in the third. You might have turned the game off too early, but don't do that. Scored 4 goals in the third to beat Colorado 4-2. And then Jets scored 2 goals within the last 2 minutes, one of them being with 1 second left to go into overtime with the Blues. The Blues would lose in the second overtime where the Jets would win. Moving on. You talked about this series. This was the series that everyone had to watch. The Jets got a whole run for their money with this series. I will say the Blues lost that game. The Jets did not win it. The Blues lost that game. You cannot give up 2 goals in the last 2 minutes. Now, do you blame the goalie? Because he gives up. I don't blame the goalie. I think Bennington stands on his head the entire game, and the deflections are what score the game. It's such a tough break. I will say, as a Blackhawks fan, sitting and watching all these videos of Blues fans crying over getting a goal on, that is hilarious. But seeing the NHL TNT people, the Biz and them, watching that video of them, seeing their reactions, like, holy shit. Because me and my wife were sitting there watching TV, and I'm watching the game on my phone because, God forbid, we have a 50-inch TV that I can watch it on. I watch it on my phone, and I'm like, holy shit. And she's like, what? I'm like, they just scored with 1 second to go. So, and Dallas obviously scoring 4 in the third period to beat Colorado. Colorado again. I've heard so many fans say that they turned the game off. They were up 2-0. They ain't coming back. They wake up the next morning and find out they lose. That's tough.
Well, and that's what's tough is he used to play for Colorado.
Yeah.
And he scored the hat trick in the third period. That's all his goals was in that third period.
Yeah.
So it's like, and he played for Colorado. Ooh, sweet revenge.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, second round is upon us in the NHL as well. Toronto versus Florida. Toronto won last night, going up 1-0, which is kind of surprising. I thought Florida would handle this series pretty well. We'll see how it kind of all shakes out. Washington versus Carolina, Golden Knights versus Oilers, and the Jets versus the Stars. Tonight's games are Hurricanes versus Capitals and Oilers versus Golden Knights. Tomorrow night, you will have the Panthers versus Maple Leafs and the Stars versus Jets. I think the series that is going to keep your eyes on it, you got to definitely watch it, is the Panthers versus Maple Leafs. You can kind of see. Now, big news came out of last night's game.
I'm glad you're going to mention this.
The goalie goes to the hospital after the game. Now, he was there for the game. Like that was one thing that kind of caught me off guard reading it. He stayed after getting injured, got hit upside the head with an elbow, it looked like, and back of the head. He then stays on the bench and then gets told that he goes to the hospital after. Now he's doubtful for the next game as they're playing 2 days later on Wednesday night. I think that's a game, the series you're going to have to watch, not just with that goalie thing, but the Panthers and Maple Leafs don't like each other. Like, they just don't. And it goes back to the 4 seasons. Obviously, the Maple Leafs have Austin Matthews, so there's kind of, but you got Tkachuk over on the Panthers. He riled up a lot of Canadians with that whole 4 teams and that game. So I think that's a series you watch out for. I think this will be a great round of hockey. I think you're going to see some of the playmakers start to pull away. With the Golden Knights, I think you're going to find that those guys are going to take off. But yeah, I think this hockey series is going to get very hot.
Yeah, and I agree. They said that even that goalie was throwing up on the side of the bench.
Yes.
And that's like, well, that's that you're concussed. I mean, that's
Yep.
that's a concussion. They said that Sam Bennett for Florida hit him with his elbow, but they said that he might have been concussed earlier because I think he took a puck off the head.
Yes. Yeah.
So he took a puck off the head, and they think that he might have been concussed there. And then Bennett hits him, and then now he's going over to the side, and they say like, okay, you got, because he's going like he's shaking his head like trying to get the cobwebs out.
Yeah.
Well, that's a sure sign that's concussion. And then he's sitting on the bench, and he's leaning over on the bench, and he's throwing up.
Yeah.
And then he gets wheeled out in a stretcher last night.
Yeah. Well, and that's
he should not be playing tomorrow night.
well, and that puck that he takes to the face was Sam Bennett passed it back. He kind of like gives a blockage, and then the guy smokes it. Well, and it hit off his mask. The mask pops off crazy.
Yeah.
And then when it pops off crazy, then you see him kind of like grabbing it, and he's trying to restrap it, and it's like, hold on. I mean, I think we were actually watching the game at that time, and on the big TV, and I looked at my wife and I go, that's crazy. Like getting hit in the head in football is one thing, but when a puck is coming that fast and it hits you so hard that the helmet, the buckles, and everything pop off, let's just take a second to know where we're at, okay?
Right.
I think you're going to see, too, another good series is can Ovechkin keep it going? I mean, Ken Wilson and them. You're going to see a very physical series here. Carolina doesn't want to play that type of game. Washington wants to play that type of game. So I think that'll be exciting as well. And can the Oilers keep it going? I think Golden Knights, they struggled a little bit in that first round. Can they keep – Minnesota was a good team. So is Golden Knights for real or not? So we'll kind of get to see that one as well.
To be honest with you, Anthony, the Winnipeg game, how they start out after coming back all that time. And then both teams had to make a comeback in Game 7 to get to this part. So – will they? I could see those two teams being very sluggish in Game 1. You may see a 1-0 or 2-1. It's going to be a rough one. I think that game. Actually, Game 1 is.
Game 1, I was actually going to go on the opposite side. I will be in. I am going to Illinois tomorrow. I was actually going to bet the opposite on that one. I was going to bet the over, and here's why. When they get sloppy, that's when deflections get part of the game. That's when. Breakaways come around. That's when. So I think it's going to be over. I think these goalies are goalies, right? But when the defense is slow, I think you're going to see a high scoring game. I could see a 5-3, 5-4, a high scoring game where it's just because they're trying to get themselves back into it. At the same time, I could see us with a lot of. Well, let's just pass the puck down there. Let's go get her. Let's go get her water.
And what Hollaback did you get for Winnipeg? The one that gives up like 18 goals in 3 games on the road, or the one that, after he was down 3-1, started playing good hockey, started goaltending pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't know if they're gonna pull him again. I mean, that's crazy.
I did too. When they were down 3-1, and that was in the early third, I'm like,
And I think that's a compliment to the Blues. Like I can't not believe I'm saying this, but a compliment to the Blues. Every time he came and played in St. Louis, he got pulled. Right. Every time he went to St. Louis, he got pulled. He didn't get pulled at home. He got pulled on away trips. So that might be one to keep an eye on for if you're betting as well. If they're playing at the Stars, maybe we'll put the Stars on that. So, but that is episode 98, as we'll be back on Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. We'll be back on Thursday with some trivia and give you some other updates for the NBA and the NHL. If there is any NFL or college football updates, we'll give you as well. But we want to thank all our fans. Have a great couple days before we see you. If you want to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all those as well. But have a great couple days. We'll talk to you on Thursday.